seriously silly stories, The Fried Piper of Hamstring. The grown-ups in Hamstring Town were the bossiest people in the entire universe. They would never leave their kids alone. Nag, nag, nag. Do this, don't do that. Wash your hair, eat your greens, go to sleep. It never ever stopped. The grown-ups had rules for everything. Every child had to know them by heart. No toys, no TV, no treats. No singing, no swinging, no sweets. No parties, no presents, no pets. No burping, no birthdays, no bets. No skipping, no spitting, no sun. No football, no fried food, no fun. The grown-ups were especially strict about the fried food. All those greasy chips and hamburgers will give you spots and make you lazy, they would tell their little ones. So the poor children of Hamstring were only allowed organic fruit and vegetables 3 times a day and no snacks between meals. Everything in Hamstring Town was spick and span. Little girls had shiny hair in pretty bows. Boys wore short trousers until their 35th birthday, even if their legs were hairy. In the evening, families had spelling tests together. It was boring, it was gloomy, it was dull. But of all the bossy grown-ups in Hamstring Town, no one was stricter than the mayor. The mayor of Hamstring spent all his time inventing new rules to make things even tidier. He didn't like children, and he especially hated animals. Animals are so messy, he would snarl. Let's have a new law. From now on, all cows must be toilet trained. And birds, he shouted, birds are dirty little creatures. From today, all birds must wear nappies. The boys and girls of Hamstring would have given anything for their own little puppy or a baby hamster or even a stick insect, but pets were strictly forbidden in Hamstring Town. As the days passed, things got worse and worse. On Monday, the mayor banned music, moustaches and Morris men. On Tuesday, he banned chewing gum, chocolate and chattering. On Wednesday, he banned watches, weeds and whispering. On Thursday, he banned theatres, thunderstorms and thinking. On Friday, he banned freckles, frogs and fireworks. On Saturday, he banned scratching, scarecrows and smiling. On Sunday, some of the children sneaked off to meet secretly. This has gone too far, whispered one of the big children. Soon there will be nothing left to ban. We must do something now. We must stop that mad mayor. We need some help, said a little girl at the back. Yes, said a boy. We need a person who isn't afraid of grown-ups. So the children typed out a secret message. It said, SOS, Hamstring kids urgently require a fearless hero to save the town from a power-mad mayor and too many rules. Help, come quick. The children sent the message out to every newspaper in the land. They sent it by email, they faxed it, they sent it out on the internet. Replies to www.rulebuster.hamstring.co. Then they went home for tea. At first light, as the children wandered wearily to school, they spotted a strange figure high on a mountain top above the town. The children could tell straight away that the stranger was not from their town because he was dressed in the most extraordinary way. Instead of grey shorts, he wore red and yellow jeans and a bomber jacket to match. His hair was tied in a ponytail. A gleaming silver saxophone hung round his neck. Most outrageous of all, the boy was sitting on a dazzling mountain bike. To the children's amazement, the stranger leapt up onto the saddle and hurtled down the hillside to where they were standing. In a great cloud of dust, the bike spun to a halt. It was only then that the children realised the stranger was holding something in his gloved hands. Something terrible. Something so wicked it was banned throughout all Hamstring. A mega burger with French fries, all sprinkled with salt and dripping with tomato ketchup. A gasp ran through the crowd. The children stared wide-eyed as the boy began to speak in the strange musical words. I was out on my bike just taking a cruise. I nearly freaked out when I heard the news. Said I'll hit the town and burn on down to help those dudes in Hamstring Town. Yeah, I'm the Fried Piper and I am hip. Any of you cool cats care for a chip? The children of Hamstring stood frozen. They couldn't believe their eyes. Then, very slowly, a tiny boy stepped forward. He looked around and, quick as a flash, he grabbed a chip from the fried piper's outstretched hand and stuffed it into his mouth. It was the first chip he had ever eaten, and it was delicious. In a second, everyone had gathered round, stuffing chips into their mouths, laughing and chattering and admiring the beautiful bike. But are you really allowed a bike? Someone asked. What about the rules? The fried piper only laughed and tossed back his golden hair. You know rules ain't cool. I do what I like. I dig fried food and I love my bike. If you follow me, then pretty soon you'll hear me blowing a radical tune. The children knew they should be at school, but somehow they couldn't help it. They had to follow that wonderful smell of fried chips and tomato sauce. The fried piper led them slowly down the road towards the centre of Hamstring town. That moment, the wicked mayor was searching for children who were late for school. Suddenly, he heard an unusual noise. It sounded like scurrying feet. It sounded like chattering. It sounded like laughing. It sounded like children. The mayor spun round. Are you mad? He shouted. This is school time. Have you forgotten Rule 48B subsection 19? It clearly says that any child absent from school for any reason shall... The mayor stopped. He stared. His jaw hung open. The fried piper stepped out of the crowd. He pushed his bike into the town square where the sun cast long shadows. Hey, you mayor, you big fat dude. We don't dig your rules and we don't dig your food. You've got too much belly and not enough hair. You're what I call a real nightmare. The children began to laugh. They just couldn't stop. The mayor struggled for something to say. He turned red. The children laughed more. At last the mayor blurted out, This is an outrage. Where are your shorts, young man? There are rules, rules, rules. Slowly, the fried piper stepped forward. He leaned his bike carefully against a railing. His long fingers drummed on his saxophone, his dark eyes fixed on the mayor. A strange silence fell over the town. In a firm, low voice, the stranger whispered, Chill out, mayor, that's enough of your threats. Us kids need fun and we need pets. At the sound of the word pets, the mayor gasped. The piper put his gleaming silver instrument to his lips and began to play. A weird, haunting tune which rose up above the houses and all across the mountains around Hamstring town. Everyone stood in silence until they heard a faint, distant squeaking. To the mayor's horror, a tiny baby rat came scampering along the main street, sniffing the air and twitching its little whiskers. The rat was followed by a guinea pig, the guinea pig by a hamster. Behind the hamster bounced two long-eared rabbits. The rabbits were followed by kittens, the kittens by puppies, and still the piper played on. The children of Hamstring scooped up the little animals and started to stroke and kiss them. The mayor began to shake. The rules, he croaked. The rules. But the fried piper didn't miss a note. More and more pets came hopping and bounding into the main square of Hamstring, big and small. Tortoises, budgies, ponies, parrots, dogs, cats, squeaking, yapping, barking, whistling, grunting, yelping. The children were delighted. They ran to meet the new animals, who jumped up and licked their happy faces. Behind the noise, the strange tune continued. Donkeys, goats, monkeys, lizards, lambs, frogs, rolling, running, racing, scurrying, scampering, chasing. A large dog licked the mayor's ear. A monkey climbed onto his hat. The mayor put his hands on his face and started to weep. The rules, he sobbed. Oh, the rules. The bossy grown-ups of Hamstring had been watching their children in dismay. Now they turned and ran. Down the street and out of the town, over the mountains and far, far away. Only one person could not keep up. The mayor ran as fast as his fat little legs would carry him, but as he reached the edge of the mountains, a huge kangaroo bounded after him. She scooped him up and shoved him into her pouch. As they bounced back to town, the mayor squealed, No kangaroos, no hopping, no bouncing. That evening there was great feasting in Hamstring. The children lit a fire in the town square, and the mayor was made to cook the most enormous fry-up of all time. Fried eggs, fried bread, fried bananas, and, most of all, hundreds and thousands of chips dripping in tomato sauce. Late into the night, the children and their pets danced to the wild tunes of the Fried Piper. The party lasted 4 long days. When it was over, the grown-ups crept quietly home from their hiding places in the mountains. The mayor was still busy cleaning the frying pan, so the Fried Piper had made 1 or 2 rules of his own. Gather round, dudes, here's my number 1 rule. Think for yourself and you'll always be cool. Like what you do and do what you like. Hey, anyone seen my mountain bike? And the Fried Piper rode away into the sunset. To this very day, there are no rules in Hamstring Town. The people do exactly what they please. They are the coolest cats for miles around. And the hippest, smoothest, most radical dude of them all is that crazy old mayor himself.